Alright, what the fuck am I gabbling on about this time? I don't know. What was I going to do? I was going to do misinterpretative learning. So, like, let's take a bit of an ADHD classic, interrupting, and like my experience of trying to manage ADHD socially by informing people that I have ADHD follows thus. This is sort of experiences of things. So interrupting is identified as something that I do a lot of, and you know we all get those tussles where you both go and one of you wins, and there's a little bit of a dominance thing going on, and there's some people that are renowned for it, like me. And I've had people like literally they get quite personal about that, to the point where they're literally like, God, you have to bloody win, don't you? And all that sort of stuff. So that invariably leads to the ADHD conversation. So now that we both know it, when it gets to that, they suddenly get doubly more determined to interrupt me. And also a lot more ruthless about interrupting me, because they now decided that's the only way they can talk to me is by interrupting me. So then how that then translates is when I interrupt them, it's come on, you shouldn't be doing this, you know about this is just your fucking ADHD. But if I don't like being interrupted, it's how fucking dare you interrupt all the fucking time. And it's just really like, how is this understanding of what's going on? It generally tends to mean, now we know you've got ADHD, we can tell it to go away when it happens. That's really kind of a lot of my experience of it. Or let me focus on me and how guilty I now feel because I didn't know. And let's just keep repeating the same loop that I just didn't know. I didn't know, but I didn't know. Yeah. I don't know what to say to that anymore. How's that fucking relevant? It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't change anything. I know a lot of the time people say, oh, you know, you can offer a excuse on someone's behalf and say, oh, maybe it was this, maybe it was that, maybe that, you know, someone had just died. You never know what's going on for someone. You know, you always expect that, rah, rah, rah. But where the fuck was I going with that? I've got lost. Completely and utterly fucking lost. Let me just get back to the interrupting. So the learning that I get from that, anyway, the learning that I get from that is basically that to interrupt is a sign of massive disrespect, because I see how angry you get with me doing it. You get angry at me doing it because I do it all the time, but it's like I'm only inexperienced learning on its own. So then this is, you know, one of the ones that I've figured out. So then over the years, I've learned on my own that when you interrupt someone, it's because you don't respect them. Because when I'm always interrupting people, it just seems like you don't care. It seems like, you know, that's what I get fed back to me time and time again. It seems like you don't give a shit. It seems like you don't care. So it's a mark of disrespect. So then when people feel like they need to up their game with me in terms of interrupting me, they interrupt. So subconsciously, I'm being insulted by them. And that's how my learning has become quirkwards. That's just one example that I can think of when it's relating directly to ADHD, and when I play that, when I look at things, how I look at things, and think, yeah, and that's how everyone learns. That's why when people say, oh, I don't want to do that because everyone will think this, it's never really their opinion. They're always told that that's their, oh, but how do you know that? How do they get to the hypothetical, come on, don't be judgmental. It's not necessarily going to happen, all that, and it's their experience is given no credibility whatsoever. But that's the thing, is that's how we do learn to be around each other, is we gauge each other's reactions. And so the reactions that I've gauged towards interrupting have given me quite a, I mean, I suppose, you know, interrupting can be sort of quite seen as self-important. That's usually the interpretation of it. Someone who always interrupts is, I know what to do, or they always feel that everything's about them, so they need to say what needs to happen, and that sort of thing. But to me, I've learned that if someone is in a tussle with a interrupting thing with me and they push it, then that's effectively then saying I don't fucking respect you because of your feedback to me about when I do it. But there's hundreds and hundreds of those. I'm always getting told that but when I take things the wrong way, it's very often met with no, a real total fucking wrong of you kind of attitude. And it's just not a lot of people know what schizotypal means. I haven't met many that if I say I'm schizotypal, I actually love saying it. It's like, oh, I've never heard of that. I think good. That means you've got no fucking judgments to throw at me then, quite frankly. But it's how can you expect people not to take things at face value? People just do. People are just living their lives and just reacting to things. It's like, what? No, I didn't. That sort of thing. Like I do, like we all do. But it's when it's with what's going on for me behind it, and that's too difficult to explain to you all. Which is why I draw the conclusion that I need to stay away. Really. And that's, look up the schizoid personality disorder. Still, I think it's still my most watched video, and it was pre-diagnosis, but I talked about the similarities in the causes of them, but they're different manifestations. But the cause is the schizoidicalness. Some people go into schizoid PD, some people go schizotypal. But the schizoid personality disorder is very much like, no, it won't fucking work, and I don't fucking care anyway. I'm quite fucking happy on my own fucking thank you. And I wish I had that level of callousness about me. I wish I could close down like that. Because we both reach a similar conclusion that this just isn't going to work. And I keep explaining the same reasons why. It's getting asked the same question, causing the same confusion in society. That puts me up and says, why have you done this? Why are you doing that? Why aren't you doing it? All of that sort of shit. And I explain it and everyone goes, what? Or they interpret it as something completely fucking else. And it just happens like clockwork in front of you. And even if you talk about that, you're told that that's just you saying it's going to happen. That's why it's happening. And it's infuriating. So it's a lot of the same fucking shit, but they have, the schizoids have learned the ability to just close you all down, and they can be quite nasty. And I think it was one of those posts that I couldn't actually reply to. It was weird. It would come up in my inbox. But I think it was a little bit like, it was one said, you seem very schizotypal, not schizoid. And I was really chuffed because it was pre-diagnosis. And I was like, that's the one I relate to. That's the one I was relating to for like fucking massively. But someone wrote something a bit fucking, you could feel the bitterness in whatever they'd written. I don't know if it was towards me directly or just towards people or something. Or if you were a real schizoid, you'd just think blah, 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 or whatever. There was that edge of it, and I think that becomes like an expression of their power, of like of the thing that they've got control of. Kind of like me with the whole being single thing, when it didn't bother me for about 4 years, just because I was like, well, what if you never get married? Why did you want to spend your whole life waiting for this dream woman or dream relationship or whatever? What if it doesn't happen? Because sometimes it doesn't. I even get that one said back to me, oh, no. It's like, no, sometimes people fucking don't. It's not common, but I know it's not common to have as little relationshipical interaction as I have had. When I look at the first relationship where we were both saying I love you was when I was 19, and like really feeling that we meant it, you know what I mean? It was 27 years ago, and I've spent about 7 of those years in a relationship or something like that. Or no, it's about 9, I think. But it's the rest of the time I've been single and looking. A lot of the time it's not great year in, year out, trust me. So I don't want to hold on to false hopes of one day. It's like, that doesn't help now. Doesn't help now. You're not allowed for it to fucking suck just because, you know what I mean? But oh god, there's just a million things with with everything. Are you really looking for a relationship? Are you just looking for a connection? Do you just need to feel like you belong somewhere? Yes, and yes. Those holes need filling as well. There's a lot of holes that need filling in me. I can fill my holes. I'm a dirty little bastard sometimes. I don't know. I just feel This is one where women can say I just feel emotional, and they get understood straight away with lots of knowing looks from women, and loads of blokes going, "That's not hard to mind, mate. We've been brainwashed fucking thoroughly to think we haven't got feelings." You see that a lot. Men like to reaffirm that they know nothing to do with all of that. And then they re-brainwash themselves. That's what I think. Or am I a woman? Who fucking knows, mate? Who knows? I'm emotion led. I'm emotion dominated. I'm a bitch to emotion. So it would appear. It's like the only, now the only thing that makes sense is talking to a camera again. A couple of weeks ago, the only thing that made sense was dancing in flowers in the sunshine. I don't do normal shit, do I? I don't know. I'm very fucking lonely. I'm very disconnected. And I don't want to expect anything of anyone by calling them and giving them my bad vibe. I can just live my bad vibe and then just show other people that I don't know whatever it is that other people get from it. But that's what I know. That's the feedback I've had, is when I'm expositional about it. That's when it helps people. So here I am being expositional as ever, like a slut.